dentistry is not for everyone, and it may not be for you, and it's okay. If somebody knows they want to do this, that's not what they should be hearing. It's been a minute. Sorry about that. We're working on it. This video is about 3 or 4 years in the making. I knew I really wanted to talk about this, and I had to wait a while to be able to get to that point. So get a snack, get comfortable, because this is going to take a while. I'm going to be going over the complete unfiltered story of how I almost got kicked out of dental school. Stay tuned. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Teham Saud, and I'm a general dentist aiming to help anyone with all things dentistry. If you're new here, welcome to the channel here at One Mission DMD. Take a minute to go through the content that we've made on this channel already. If you're a high school student, undergrad student, unsure of what you want to do, maybe interested in the pre-dental track, already in dental school, looking to get out of dental school, employment after dental school once you graduate, we've talked about all of these things no matter what part of the journey you may be at, so definitely take a look at some of the content we've already made here on the channel. Now, as you can tell by the title of this video, it's a very deep and involved topic, and why am I even talking about this? There's one reason and one reason only. It's because I know people are going through this, have gone through this, and will go through this. And if anyone can benefit from my experience, all the better, because if it makes any part of that experience somewhat more manageable and can help you get through it, that's literally the only reason this video is here. It's for you guys. Hopefully you can benefit from it, learn from my experience, and here it goes. There's a long series of events that led up to the point of me being potentially removed from my program, but just to kind of take you in through that experience, I was admitted into dental school in 2019. So I started in July of that year in 2019. So, things were going pretty well. I was able to, go through a post-bac, went into a master's. So all those kind of things really helped me. And I've made separate videos on those, so you can go ahead and check those out. But those things really prepared me for that first semester because it was tough. The first semester of school was mainly just filled with all the body systems, exams every week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week, biochemistry, oral pathology, just all those types of things. So I was able to thankfully get through those things. And then once September rolled around of 2019, of D1 year, we started slowly incorporating things in simulation clinic. So that is something with dental school that comes into play where you get to learn how to use a dental handpiece and practice the different types of shapes and preparations and things you have to make on plastic teeth. So we're learning class 1s, class 2s, class 3s, class 4s, class 5s, all those types of things, learning operative dentistry armamentarium, and things are going well. So at the conclusion of my first semester of my D1 year, ended on a high note. Alhamdulillah, I was able to pass all my classes. Things were moving along. It was tough to figure out, but once the ball started rolling, you could really kind of figure out what you need to do to get through things. Then the second semester of dental school started, which was a whole different experience. Given the fact that it was 2020, COVID was looming and about to affect everybody worldwide. We continued on from where we left off last semester and continued more didactic science coursework. We had a lot more didactic operative dentistry coursework, and we slowly also continued with operative dentistry in the simulation clinic where we were doing hands-on procedures. So spring break is looming. We're hearing about COVID in Seattle breaking out in retirement homes and affecting people very seriously. And then in New York, we were also hearing about things going on over there. And we were hearing about NYU closing their doors, and dental school, medical school, all of those schools were saying that in-person learning is not happening and no one's coming to school. So we were just joking at our school in Arizona, like, that's crazy. What if that happens to us? No way, that won't happen. It happened to everyone. And basically when we left Arizona to go back home for spring break, we were told to stay put and not come back until further notice, because how COVID was becoming very serious at the time in 2020. So, we started doing virtual classes, and the first class that we had to start virtually was removable partial dentures. So what that entailed was, patients are missing teeth. You have to figure out a plan to what type of removable appliance and device is going to work for them to fill in the gaps with those areas where the teeth have been removed. Man, that was so annoying. Like, we had instructors holding study models in their hands and putting a partial in and out of that edentulous study model and explaining, this is the lingual bar, okay, this is the lingual bar, this is the wrought wire, this is where you do this is where you do that. Like, it was just not conducive for me personally, and I did not do well. So I failed that class. That was the class that I failed. It was one of the first virtual courses that we started that I was not able to do well in. So I was told that I need to remediate that class. So fast forward that same 2020 year, right? From March to July is when we started doing courses online virtually, having stayed put where we were during spring break. We're told to come back to school in person in around the end of July or August. So when I come back, that's when I'm told I have to remediate that removable partial denture course and the exam and the whole thing, which I thankfully did. It was annoying, but I got through it. Then I failed a second course when we came back, and that was head and neck 2. And we have at least one head and neck course every semester, every year in dental school at where I was at. So that happened. And once it happened again, I was told, look, you have to remediate this course, but now you're being put on this probation status with the school because you failed your second course. And so I was a little anxious, having found out that I'm being put on probation. But I still passed the remediation and everything was fine. And then once that July period in person started back up at school again, we continued with the simulation coursework that we left off with back in March. So March through July, 0 hand skill practice because we're doing things online, remotely, told not to come back. So naturally, I was doing terrible. I could not drill a tooth for the life of me. I could not do a class 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I was struggling quite a bit to the point where I failed that course too. That was Operative Dentistry 2. We did Operative Dentistry 1 the semester prior, where I did pretty well. Again, that was a semester I didn't fail anything. Now, leading up to where I'm at right now at this point, what I've gone through so far, failed Removable Partial Dentures 1, which was the course, which was one of the first ones that we had to do virtually, which I failed. Then Head and Neck, having come back, number 2 is what I failed. And then the third course was Operative Dentistry 2, which is the third course that I failed. So having failed that third course, I got another email. Let me pull it up here. with a formal letter from the school written out saying, Dear Teham, as you know, you recently failed a third module, Clinical Dentistry 2, Operative Dentistry. Previously, you had also failed and remediated both removable partial dentures and head and neck 2. This being your third module failure, the Academic Progress Committee, or APC, once again considered your situation having put you on probation prior. The APC determined that rather than recommending repetition of semesters or dismissal from the program, you remain on probation further. Further, the APC expects you to pass the outstanding Clinical Dentistry 2 remediation, as well as all remaining ASDO modules. If you fail Operative 2 remediation, or a fourth module after, you will be recommended to the APC to the dean for dismissal from the program. Okay, so I get this email with this letter, and I'm panicking because I'm like, okay, I can pass the remediation and figure it out, even though I'm tanking in operative dentistry, hand skill wise. But if I fail anything after that, I'm done for. So I'm assessing my situation given everything that happened and figuring out what I need to do and how I got to this point. And I'm realizing that it's the hand skill part that I'm struggling with mostly, right? So with that, just to kind of give you some information and explain how it was going on, when we came back to school, we were told that we would be able to go to the sim clinic. We would be doing in-person proctored exams, but classwork with like didactics would be offered online, but the sim clinic stuff would be in person. So the way our school did this was our class of 77 or 78 people was divided into two. Half was going in the morning to sim clinic and doing all the operative dentistry stuff, while the other half in the morning, they were all attending didactic classes with all of the bookwork. In the afternoon, it's flip-flopping. So the people that were in sim clinic in the morning are now doing didactics in the afternoon. The people that were doing didactics in the morning are now doing sim clinic in the afternoon. So this essentially was decreasing sim clinic time, because the semester prior, before COVID, we would be in the sim clinic all together for longer periods of time. But because we were splitting up the class and the way it was happening, we had less time in sim clinic now. So I had a meeting with two of the members of the Academic Progress Committee, one of which was one of the academic deans, and the other one was one of the directors of the sim clinic. And, you know, they were pretty much playing good cop, bad cop. And in there, one of them were saying, you know, you failed a lot of classes. You need to make sure you're remediating everything and you don't fail anything again. And one of the people suggested that, you know, because at our school we require you guys to take public health courses, because you get a certificate in that, we can maybe tone down those and pause those until you get through this situation with all of your dental courses. So listening to the academic dean in particular say that was kind of confusing, because what they were assuming was that I'm struggling in these classes because there's a lot on my plate. Technically, that was correct, but the reason I was struggling in those simulation classes was not because of public health. The reason I was struggling in that simulation clinic class was simply because of the lack of hours I was allotted to be able to practice. And having explained that, the dental sim clinic director was on my side and saying, no, Teham is right, because if we tone down the public health classes, that's not increasing his time in the sim clinic, because we can't let students go in. I mean, I begged them to let me go in and literally go in after hours stay there later, but they wouldn't let us do that. Only like once a month, or like if there was an exam coming up, but not on like a regular basis. So I tried explaining that, right? Like, I need more time in the sim clinic. I need more time in the sim clinic. But basically what I was being told was everybody was given the same amount of time. People passed. You didn't. Figure it out. Literally, that's what I was being told. And I was also told, also rewind, when they were telling me that, maybe you should take a break from those public health courses. I was like, that doesn't really matter, because writing it and putting things in discussion posts is like not that difficult. Like, I kind of long for that because it takes me away from all the other stuff for a second to like just refresh myself, and then I can get back into it. And then when they heard me say that, she was like, do you like writing? You like writing? Like what are we doing here? Like, just, it was just so weird. It literally ticked me off. It was hard to keep myself composed during that Zoom meeting with them. But, that's what happened. So, towards the end of the meeting, they told me, look, this is a lot going on, and we need you to seek out some therapy through our school resources, okay? And if you don't seek out those resources, that in itself can be grounds to dismissal if you don't do anything. And I'm like, what? Like, they're weaponizing therapy at this point. I mean, I believe in therapy. My wife's a marriage and family therapist. I know what it is. But the way it was presented to me was very toxic. It wasn't talked about with the first failure. It wasn't talked about with the second failure. It was talked about with the third one. And I'm not saying that, whatever. Like, it was just a very weird presentation of a resource to use. So at the end of the meeting, they said, look, this is a lot to process. It's a lot of information, but we need to know soon. And we just want to let you know there is another option. You can take a leave of absence from the school and then come back. So having heard that, I just had some questions about it. And I asked them, okay, well, what does that mean? Third semester of dental school has already started. The first year of dental school has completed. And the course that I failed was one of the last ones at the end of D1 year. So naturally, I was expecting them to say, oh, you would just join the current D1 class of 2024. I was scheduled to be class of 2023. And she goes, no, the school's been going through a lot of changes, and we would want you to take a break for a whole year, not join the class directly under you, but join the class of 2025. That was so annoying to hear. This whole meeting was toxic, but what I was being told at the end of it was so annoying. And I was like, so what does that mean? Like, I have to move out, go back to Houston, stay with my folks, then come back? She's like, yeah, you could do that, or you could just stay in Arizona. You could work or something, or you can take more loans for living expenses and all that stuff. And I'm like, holy crap. So not only if I take a leave, will I have to restart D1 year, which had already completed, but number two, I have to pay more loans for a whole extra year of dental school and then be delayed 2 years back from the original date. That was annoying, very stressful, and that was definitely the most stressful point of dental school for me, because I literally had $100,000 to worry about that would be added onto my loans because of this decision. And I'd have to figure something out in the meantime just to like get by. And then the other thing was that if I stayed and didn't elect to go that route, I would have to, Oh my God, man, this is tough. But just to talk about this, but like, yeah, I couldn't fail anything. And if I did, I could be kicked out. So I talked to my friends, I talked to my family. My brother was in my class. My friend Samra was also in my class. So Sarib, my brother, my friend Samra, I literally talked to them so much about this and got their advice, and they helped me a lot. After talking to them, obviously I had to consult with my wife and see what's the best thing for us to do. Talk to my family, talk to my in-laws. And I don't know, like, I was not gonna do that about taking a leave, waiting a whole freaking year, being in debt $100,000 more because of these crazy outstanding private school tuition costs for dental school, which is absolutely insane. Goodness, just thinking about this is literally making me upset. But oh my God. Okay, so given my situation, where I was starting the first semester of my D2 year, it was very difficult, man. Like, I got through it, subhanallah, somehow, through literally my wife, my brother Sarib, my friend Samra, and all of us literally getting through this together. It was my difficulty to go through, but I had so many people to walk this journey with that helped me, and I wouldn't have been able to had God not surrounded me with everyone to help me get through it. Because I wasn't allotted that extra time in sim clinic, I literally knew I had to do something because I was going to be flunking out very soon if I didn't. I literally put a video together after I figured it out, but I put a contraption together and made a dental unit at home, which helped me practice every day, every weekend, every holiday. I was doing that because I knew if I didn't, I would not perform the way I needed to. I would literally take my typodonts home, my teeth home, and that sounds so weird, but all the plastic teeth and all that type of stuff, I would take those things home. I bought a dental piece, I bought a compressor, I put all this stuff together to help me. And if I didn't do that, right, it wouldn't have worked. It goes in with effort, support system, effort and support system. If you just have effort and you don't have a support system, you might not make it. You might, but there's not a guaranteed chance. There's not even a guaranteed chance if you have both of them. But it does increase your chances. If you put in your effort, you pray for what you're looking to get, and you pray for what you are longing for. You put in the effort and you have your support system around you, then you can live with the results because you've exhausted everything. But fast forward to November of that year. So July through November, I got another email from the school having passed everything, right? And remediating everything and getting through the subsequent courses that were there. Like, literally, I barely slept, man. Like, if you know that there's hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line and your possibility of removal from a program like this, like, this is it. Like, your life's on the line here. And I just did what I needed to get through it. And the email that I got was in November of 2020. This letter serves as official notification that you're no longer on probation. Therefore, you're in good standing with ASDO. Please keep in mind, according to ASDO policy, if you fail another class or exhibit any unprofessional behavior, you may be put back on probation again. And this letter was signed by the same lady who asked me if I like writing and if I like to write, right? The one who was saying to tone down the public health classes. Prior to all this, she's the one emailing me, right? She's the one talking to me. She's the one having the meetings with me. But this letter was not sent by her, even though it was sent by this, even though it was sent with a signature of hers on there. But she had her assistant give me the good news that I'm no longer on probation anymore. That was a little annoying, but like, I didn't make much of it. Not everyone is gonna pass. And I know that. And I'm not saying to pass everyone. But what I'm saying is that what that lady told me, in addition to all the toxicity that I just explained, dentistry is not for everyone, and it may not be for you. And it's okay. If somebody knows they want to do this, that's not what they should be hearing. Now, if somebody's in school and they know that this is not for them and they would force themselves to just get through it and they would suffer through the process, then yeah, that person might want to hear that. But you can't make an assumption based off something you don't know anything about. If you know somebody has verbalized, you know what, dentistry sucks. I cannot do this. I cannot talk to people every day. I cannot drill teeth. I cannot pull teeth. Like, I do not want to do that. That's fine. But if you know you want to do this and you're determined, you're going to do what you need to get it done, okay? That is what I heard from her. If dentistry is not for you, it's okay. It may not be for you, and that's fine. And what I needed to hear was, hey, look, you're in a very tough situation right now, and it's a lot to take in. We want to give you your time to think about it, but we're here for you. You need anything, let us know. We want to see you get through this. We want to see you get past this difficulty. We want to see you succeed. We want to see you graduate. But we want to make sure that's what you want as well. Okay? That in itself would allow them to assess what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what I want. But that wasn't done. And what's crazy about this is that this person has repetitively used the same verbiage with students at the school, with people that were under our class. With the class of 2024, with the class of 2025, and with the class of 2026, I heard from 5 people that they were told the same exact thing by this particular person, that dentistry is not for everyone. It may not be for you, and that's fine. Now, people heard her say that, and some people left. It might have been something that they needed to hear because that was what was best for them. But that's not best for everyone. You can't just paint a wide brush stroke and just paint everybody with the same picture and be like, you know what, they're failing, they're not doing well, they all must suck, and they all must hate dentistry. And that's something that I just simply did not agree with. I do not agree with, and I'm sure she's told multiple people, even since I graduated, the same exact verbiage. Those were the things that I wanted to hear. And if you're going through it, I hope you heard those things. Because I heard those things from my wife. I heard those things from my brother Sarib. I heard those things from my friend Samra. I heard those things from my family, from my in-laws. I heard it from people outside of the school institution. Had I not had those people, had I not had those resources, had I not had that comfort, I wouldn't be here right now. And the people that ended up having to leave, maybe they didn't have those things. Maybe they didn't have those people. Maybe they didn't have that outlet. But if you're watching this, I'm literally giving you that outlet right now. I want you to benefit from this and to reach out to me, to put it in the comments, to message me on Instagram. If you're going through this, let me know, because I'd like to help if I can in any way. Hopefully this video is doing a lot of that. I really pray it is. I usually end all my videos on a positive note. This is the most positive way I can end a topic like this. There's no other way that I possibly can. You have to make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that can help you, to celebrate the good times, to be there for you in the difficult times, because those are the ones that really matter. Everyone else is there for you, but not everyone's going to be there in these very dire times. And I hope this video was helpful for anyone who may be going through this, and just reach out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was brutally honest. I know that I was sucking with making content, and that's because of having a full-time job and working as a dentist for the first time. Whole year has been completed, alhamdulillah, and I couldn't have asked for a better opportunity, and I'll be talking about that in my next video. But this is a very important topic. It doesn't get the representation it needs. On SDN, you'll just hear about people having 26 DATs and asking, hey, do I get into dental school or not? What do you think? You won't hear about this anywhere. People don't talk about it because it's a very touchy topic. And I knew that if I get through it, that I will share it. And I'm glad I did. It's something that I've been bottling up for a long time, and it feels really good to let it out. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.